shining bright here at the La Hocata Recreation Ground. It is Matchweek 13 of the Ascension football, and we're getting set for a big match. Moruga Football Club coming up against Central FC. Central lying in 10th position on the table, while Moruga getting their first point last week. They're just 1 point behind. Brent Sancho is with me, and looking at the hills, well, it's sunny. That's a start. 31 degrees Celsius, just some Sahara dust hanging over the ground, but I'm sure that they would not mind that compared to what the conditions were last week. Brent Sancho, of course, talking about conditions, of course, it's a bit overcast in the sense of emotionally here in Trinidad and Tobago with the news of the passing of the former TTFA president and W Connection owner, David John Williams. We had a chance to speak to some of the coaches earlier, and they shared their sentiments.
Well, first I would like to send condolences to his family, Mr. John Williams. You know, he is, we say, a leader in sports. You know, he had one of the lethal teams that he led to plenty victory in Trinidad and in the CONCACAF. I think it's a sad day for football because I know he was one of the guys who put his life on the line for football. You know, he was the former TTFA president, you know, and I think he really put his heart out for football in Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, very sad day in Trinidad and Tobago. For a great man, contributed so much to this sport. You know, it was really saddened to hear that this morning. It was really heartening. So, condolences to the family and the team. Bring a lot to Trinidad football.
The sentiments of Coach Ross Russell in regards to David John Williams. Brent, you would have spent a lot of time, of course, at the TT Pro League with David John Williams. You know, what are your feelings on hearing the news?
Well, obviously, it's a very sad day for Trinidad and Tobago football. More importantly, when you look at what his contribution was, a visionary, a true leader in the sport, a man that devoted his life to football, a man that was passionate about the sport. Trinidad and Tobago has truly lost a stalwart, someone that his legacy will live on for generations to come, and his impact in the sport, more importantly, will live on for generations to come.
Well, the mood will continue as we take a break and come back with more here on the Ascension Football Show.
Frame Maritime Limited, the best in marina services. At our facilities, security checks ensures that all vehicles are secured. Our newly renovated bathrooms are always kept in a clean working order. Need repairs and maintenance? We have you covered. Our qualified workmen will get the job done. Boat storages, from our marina, you can easily push off for a family sailing trip. Out fishing with the boys. Or a fun DDI experience with friends. Repairs, secured parking, extensive camera system, boat charters, boat rentals, down the island parties. Contact us at 1-868-634-1653. Lasso Frame Maritime Limited, the best in marina services. Life's better on.
Very good, Wigan.
Welcome back to the La Hocata Recreation Ground, and yeah, it's beautiful sunshine. No rain today. In fact, it has been sunny since yesterday in Trinidad and Tobago, and ground conditions really good. Brent Sancho, of course, is here with me. Firstly, before we talk about the match, talk about the ground conditions.
Yeah, it's a stark improvement from what we saw, of course, in the last game that we was here. It was basically a mud fest. You could see, of course, that the groundman has done a lot of work on the ground. There's still some patches, as you can see on your screen, on the pitch. A lot of it has been replaced with soil. It has been, of course, rolled with the roller, etc. The ground is firm, which is most important from a footballing perspective. The grass is well cut, and of course, the conditions is humid here, so that would mean that it would continue to, of course, dry out. As you can see in the front of the goal, there's still a bit of dust there, but it's a stark difference from what we saw last week, where it was basically a mudfest.
Oh, based on what we're getting at the moment, I promised myself I will not complain about the sunny conditions. Let's talk about the teams now. Moruga FC coming up against Central FC, 10th versus 9th. Moruga getting their first points in the competition in the last match week. Does that give them some sense of momentum, you think? Well, 4 points when you can check the 5 points separating them. Central FC, of course, 1 win, 2 draws. That's the difference between them. But Moruga with some momentum after getting their first point.
Well, as the table indicates, there seems to be a division between, of course, the top 4 and the rest of the table. Today's battle squares in, of course, between Central FC and Moruga FC. As you rightfully said, Moruga getting their first points of the competition. Both coaches talking about the youth of their team, and they seem to now start to be getting into gear. It's a big game for both teams. Just from a perspective of morale, of course, within the camp, and of course from a positivity within the camp. Both coaches talked about positivity. Today's fixture should be very, very interesting.
Now, I know some folks might say it's a given, but who has the edge in this particular match?
I think both teams will come in with confidence. Of course, despite the loss from Deportivo for Central FC, they still had a credible performance. And for Moruga, they got a tie that they would be buoyed by it. I think both will be coming in with confidence. I think both charges would not want their both teams to make any mistakes. But I will give the edge to Central FC because they seem to be the team that is doing better.
All right, well, I was eavesdropping earlier when you had a chat with the coaches. Let's hear exactly what they said.
Coach, obviously a disappointing result last week against Deportivo Point 14. Did you see some positives in that performance?
Yeah, I think the positive is that the team played for all 90 minutes. We got a goal early in the first half and we stayed right within it. I think Depot was a little bit worried coming on to the end, but they got a go-ahead goal and they won the game by 2-0. The goals didn't show the performance of my team, really.
You talked a lot about the youth that you have on your team and, of course, the inconsistencies and performances. Going into today's fixture, what did you work on coming into this one?
Well, we work on stopping goals because, for the season we have been letting in some silly goals. And I think that is the big highlight of our game. We seem to be performing well, but goals seems to be just slipping in. So we work a lot on defense this week.
Well, we've seen some good attacking players within. Of course, Shem Clausel comes to mind. Who are some of the key players leading from an attacking perspective for this fixture?
No, I think the two brothers, the twins, they are, I think, the most lethal bunch. They seem to always pop up with a goal here and there. I think Burki too as well. He is doing well. The number 10, he's really running about. He's really getting in. And I think, we are getting it together finally.
Okay, Coach Russell, of course, all the best to you and your charges in today's fixture.
Thank you again.
Well, spoke to some of the coaches earlier, and that match, of course, happening first at 5 p.m. But at 8 p.m., big match, Terminix Lockita Rangers. They seem to be flying at the moment, coming up against Westford.
Yeah, they've had some results go their way outside of what they've been doing so far. But what has been credible about them is that they've been playing with players missing. We talked, of course, about the interchange of personnel within the team, and they've still been able to show the sort of dominance that has led them to the top of the table. But don't count out, of course, Real Westford, because this is a team, despite their lingering position on the table, they can cause an upset.
Yeah, and what about the form of Terminix Rangers at the moment? You think they've done enough to pull away?
Yeah, they've done enough to pull away. I think they're heading in a direction where they can win this, but I think there's still a lot to play for.
All right, well, we did speak to the other coach, coach of Moruga, Anton Kwashi as well.
As we looked at this week's fixture, a very credible result in your last fixture. Positivity in the team?
Yeah, them fellas, them raring to go. They just want to attack right now, so I just trying to keep them calm as much as I could.
Of course, a team full of youngsters, full of exuberance, as you go into these fixtures? What are some of the keys to the game today?
Today is just to more contain, hit on the counter, make sure that we don't miss our chances that we create for ourselves, because we keep missing chances and that will cause us to not win the last game. But today, hopefully we work on it and we will get them today.
What do you believe that you need to do very, very well to be able to get 3 points today? Because, of course, Central FC is very close to you on the table.
We need to play together as a unit. Once we stay together, we will get the victory.
Coach Kwashi, of course, thank you very much and all the best to you and your charges.
Yes, man. Thanks.
Anton Kwashi certainly looks a pleased man getting his first point. And how do you think that feels for Moruga?
Well, it certainly feels well. You can tell and you can sense within the group that there is a lot of positivity. He talked about the week leading up to this and, of course, how much they're looking forward to this fixture. Certainly a point for a young team bodes well coming into this.
All right, let's take a pause, and when we come back, we've got all of the match action happening right here at the Larkins Recreation Ground. Moruga FC, they come up against Central.
The situation we have here is that these characters, and I refer to them as pests, right? What they are doing is destroying our country, but not on my watch. No street, no turf, no block shall belong to these cockroaches, right? It's no longer business as usual. Happy hour is over. If they don't fear God, at least they will fear Terminix.
Have you considered how your methods could impact on pests across the country?
I find we look after the rights of pests as opposed to the rights of the 1.3 million law-abiding citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. I wonder if Roach Ladden's son come here for the carnival, if you'll interview him, eh?
But how could you defend one shot, one kill?
What, you want me to throw a pillow at him?
I didn't say that.
No, well, if a roach jumps in front of you now, what will you do?
Run.
Oh, Jesus, Lord Father.
Pests bothering you? Call Terminix at 672-5007 or 672-0042 or visit our website at terminix.co.tt for a free quote and consultation. Join our fight against pests.
Well, turn up the volume. It's time to start the party here at the Larkins Recreation Ground. Ascension football action, match week 13. And we've got a treat for you today. Moruga Football Club, they come up against Central FC. Both teams that have struggled for wins. Central just picking up one win in the competition, 2 draws as they languish in 9th position. Moruga picked up their first bit of goodies last week with their first point against Kunupia FC, and they would certainly be hoping for another one as they come up against Central. Well, James Saunders is my name, and I'm joined by former Trinidad and Tobago World Cup defender Brent Sancho as the teams make their way out. What are the keys in this match?
Well, we talked a lot about the youth of both teams and, of course, what they have to do. When you are at this level with young players, it's all about trying to be consistent. And I think that's where both teams have struggled. The youngest teams in the competition, so the consistency has not been there. Of course, both coaches spoke to it. As it relates to Central FC, I think is building on what they've been doing over the last 2 games. They've been consistent in the way they've attacked. They've been a lot better defensively, that's for certain. And if they can now bring a bit of quality when it comes to that final board, I think they will be in the game. As it relates to Moruga FC, it's a continuous work in progress. They have to be resolute, they have to be disciplined throughout the 90 minutes, and of course try to be able to hit Central FC on the counter-attack and be potent when it comes to finishing on goal. Certainly, both teams would feel that 3 points is at stake here today for them.
Well, Moruga FC will don the orange kit, the team from Deep South, coming up against Central FC, a team that has been in competition with a lot of history behind them, but it's a young bunch this time around, the Central FC. Quincy Williams, by the way, will be the man in charge of the whistle, and he has a experienced cast around him. This is a match that many feel will give these teams the momentum as they fight to trade positions, perhaps in the standings. Moruga still trailing by 5 points to Central FC. Well, the teams are gathering around for 1 minute of silence in memory of the deceased W Connection owner, David John Williams.
Thank you very much.
Or even the heavens gave a sign of hope to the grieving family. David John Williams, of course, the former Trinidad and Tobago Football Association president and W Connection owner. And as the rainbow in biblical days was a sign of hope and promise, certainly will be to the football family here in Trinidad and Tobago. So as mentioned, Quincy Williams in charge. Kevin Lewis, Nicholas, and Changia, Dennis Changia, will be his assistants. Ton load of experience in that battalion to take charge of this fixture. Good ground conditions, even better weather here in La Hogata expected for this match. Big talking point last week, the weather and the pitch conditions. But I'm sure everybody's going to be happy this time around.
Yeah, certainly there's going to be a little bit more fluidity as it comes to the footballing aspect of things. It's remarkable, James, as much as we spoke about the facility here in La Hogata, all the way in Honduras is under 20 CONCACAF competition, but I think probably worse conditions than what we saw last week here in La Hogata. It must be mentioned, of course, this pitch has taken a big beating.
All right, let's take a look at the who's present and who's not. Leonardo da Costa, Leandro da Costa, the da Costa brothers dot the Central FC starting lineup. Romario Berg is also in there, and the attack would be led by Keishon St. Rose with Kwame Hagyu expected to marshal stuff at the back with Shem Clozel. Missing today is our pair, the captain. And for Moruga FC, hero in goal, Miles Goodman, he retains his spot. Rajan King Allen is back together with Atiba Charles. They will be expected to help the attack together with Joshua Ragu. Kervel Turner, the big number 9, is also in the starting lineup, while Rodney Young provides some surety at the back. Anton Kwashi will take charge of this match from the bench.
Let's go, Ascension. Let's do this.
Well, let's signal that the La Hogata Recreation Ground is open for business as Terminex La Hogata Rangers. I almost said they were coming up next, but in fact they're coming up later on. Moruga FC, they take on Central FC. Moruga in the bright orange versus Central in yellow. Already Moruga showing the attacking intent. What they thought superseded the execution. And as a result, the ball goes into touch. Certainly high on confidence after picking up their first points of the competition. They did go through the entire first round winless, without a point. First points coming against Central FC in a goalless draw last week. Certainly would be looking to add to that this time around. Grant, you spoke with the coach. What was his feeling like?
I think there was a general happiness as it relates to the overall team performance, as it relates to, of course, more levels of consistency, as I spoke about in the lead-up. There are some key players that Coach Russell mentioned, the Costa brothers and, of course, Shem Colozel, as being major contributors to their success. And he's, of course, discussed that for them to be successful here today, those players will have to show up. I think we both, James, have been very impressed with Shem Colozel, in particular for Central FC. Despite the challenges they would have had, he's certainly one that has shone throughout this campaign.
That's good from Williams. Certainly one of the bright stars last time around. Corbell Turner. Well, Aberdeen certainly made a name for himself last week. His big saves certainly kept Central FC in the match. Much of it did fall eventually to the league leaders. Oh, the tussle for this. More. And Aberdeen already called into action, and he responded quite appropriately. Well, I think Moruga starting with perhaps their best attacking combination, even though the shot didn't match the ambition of the player. Corbell Turner, Tiba Charles and Region Alan King have certainly been the best combination up top for them. But they've had to focus on defense now. Oh, nothing for Miles Goodman to worry about. Well, last week we spoke about Central FC and their attacking prowess. 13 goals in their last few matches. It's at the back where they've struggled. The Costa brothers certainly have been among the goals. And perhaps here now as well. Easy for Goodman in the end. There's Clozel. Faria. Game of cat and mouse at the moment. They try to chip away at Moruga. Burke. Much will be expected from him in attack. Oh, it's a slip. Could it be costly? And, cross the wires. Moruga clumsily get possession and give it away straight away. And perhaps just a bit of nerves there from Joshua Ragu.
Yeah, a bit of nerves, and we talked a little bit about, of course, the surface in the build-up to this one. Of course, there seem to be a great deal of work that have been going on in this Lahokita facility. But as much as it's firm, James, there's still a lot of soft spots within the ground because of the packing of the dirt to, of course, cover the mud that we had last week. The groundsman's done a tremendous job to even have it looking the way that it is right now. But there's still some soft spots, and I think players are finding it a bit challenging to keep their foot in. Of course, we've seen one or two players and when they attempted to pass the football, they would have slipped in the process.
Rodney King. Always sense of assuredness from him. Well, they're certainly taking their time in the build-up. Have to be clever. And might be punished here. Ragu recovering yet again. Hasn't looked very comfortable so far. Early stages of the match. Well, here's King taking Williams for a run. And in the end, just played it off his own self, and it's a goal kick.
Well, James, I'm looking at the defensive line held by both teams when the opponent is in possession, and they're both defending quite low in a low block. It's very rare in the sport that you see both teams set up a low block, and I think that's indicative of the fact that they've both shipped in a lot of goals during this campaign, and they feel that if they are to defend a little bit lower and not give space in behind, it will be part of the cure, well, I should say prevention, as it relates to not conceding.
Well, maybe we spoke too soon, as the precipitation has joined the party here in La Hogata. Just a slight drizzle. Shouldn't affect ground conditions too much. But he made a valid point though, Brent Sancho. Goals conceded. These two teams have been among the leakiest. 87 goals between them in 26 matches. Central FC conceding 38, while Moruga conceding 49. Oh, it's a free kick and an opportunity for Moruga to get a positive statistic on the other end. Well, you swing this in, and well, too low, easily dealt with. Ragu can't get it, and Rodney Young sends it back in the area. Too long for anybody though.
I think what we've seen from the opening exchange is both teams, I wouldn't call it nervous, but there seem to be some jitters in between. There is expectation, James. Both teams will feel, as I said, that there is 3 points here to be had. And we're seeing it so far in the play. A lot of errant passes. Of course, as we look at the administrative staff of Real Westford, a lot of errant passes, a lot of missed decisions. And I think you will continue to see that until both teams settle down and try to find some sort of flow.
Here's Burke. They'll be keeping close eyes on him. Clausel to Faria. It's a throw. Well, here comes Central FC, testing the width of Moruga. And, well, it's cleared. King, Turner. Oh, he's done well, Turner. Closely guarded this time. Here's Young. Oh, they're tussling for this one, and it's won by Shem Clausel. Oh, he's bursting forward in a good area, and well, Miles Goodman quick off his line to avert any danger.
I think Shem would be a bit disappointed there. St. Rose should have been on the front foot expecting that through ball, but he just never put himself in a position to get the end of it. It was the only real solution for Shem in terms of passing options, and St. Rose didn't read it. So both teams have started, as I said, a bit jittery and some nerves, and it certainly impacted from a quality perspective.
Rodney Young. Certainly taking their time. Central FC throwing a low block, giving space for Moruga to get forward. Want to throw.
Well, it's amazing. We did a lot of our conversation at the beginning about the hot weather, and here comes the rain. Commentators curse.
Always happens. Well, the sun's shining. There's a West Indian proverb about that. Rain falling and the sun shining. What happens next? Maybe a goal. Well, not from a service like that. Cleared. Hoyt back inside the area. Should be easily dealt with. And there we go. We're having a rain party. Tell you what, the least affected players by rain is usually, or persons rather, by rain is usually the players. They always seem to enjoy a bit of a sprinkle.
Well, I think the biggest concern would be, of course, the ground and how this short downpour would impact the work that has been done in the facility leading up to this one. That's a lovely turn.
It is. Shem Closel. There's Williams. Likes to bomb forward as Acosta with him. Williams. He's got happy feet, but he loses his feet. Costa keeps it alive. King for his brother. Can't find Leandro da Costa. And a shot this time from St. Rose, and he wasn't far from the mark, I tell you that. But it's not often that he has that amount of time and space and doesn't hit the target. Keyshawn St. Rose. Moruga, fortunate.
Well, the ball finally drops to St. Rose there. Never really was able to wrap his shoelaces around it. It looked like it may have slid off the side of his foot. The idea was there, but the execution wasn't.
Well, the heartbeat of the ground certainly pumping at the moment as the rhythm section carries the energy of the Friday evening football here in the Ascension tournament. It's Faria. Try to play St. Rose in. It's with Da Costa. He can keep it, and he can't, despite his best effort. Oh, he tried to take his man for a run. He's having none of it. Ragu, one of two Ragu brothers on the Moruga team, Joshua and Tishon. This is promising. King's touch is too heavy. Only as far as Ragu. Looking for options. Get a second bite, but he loses it to Burke. And Williams bombs forward. It's going to take Young for a run.
Oh, that's late. That is late.
And he has his legs taken out, and he's appealing for a penalty. And, well, Quincy Williams says otherwise. It's a corner.
Well, from our vantage point here, James, it looked like it was a late challenge. That man there in your screen had a much better look at it. And I would trust his judgment over mine. Looked a bit naughty, but as he's carved it, it's a tough one from where we're sitting. And even from that shot that we just saw, I think William would argue with us that he had the better view.
Well, this is for Clausel, making room for himself here, Clausel. And well, a bit of a muffed shot. And Moruga grateful to clear to Charles. Well, here's King. He can get an attack going. Well cut out by Burke. Sure he knew much about it. Good link up play here. But they've certainly got a host of good-looking young players, Central FC. Here's one of them, Clausel, whose pass is cut out. Well, maybe now a chance could open up for the team in yellow. And that's well defended in the end by Young. Shondell Young ensuring that that man, Miles Goodman, a little work to do. Oh, there's a player down at the moment, Joshua Ragu, and he's gesticulating to the referee and his teammates about something.
So he's grabbing the hamstring area, James, and you know in this type of weather, the players sometimes extend themselves beyond, and I'm not sure he'll be able to carry on, as he, of course, punctuates the fact that it's his hamstring.
Well, Coach Kwashi has already gotten the memo, and seems it could be the end of Ragu. Oh, quite unfortunate. Just 17 minutes, and to make his way off Joshua Ragu. It's going to be disappointed. We did say that he looked uncomfortable in the opening minutes, and that might have played a big part in exactly why.
Well, if you're coming into this fixture with any sort of niggling or muscle injuries, this is not the type of condition you want to play in. It's from a footing perspective, you're going to be stretched, and you're going to slip, you're going to slide, and I think young Ragu there would have felt the brunt of playing in these types of conditions. Unfortunate, as you said, James.
Well, Carl Sylvester will get his chance, the midfielder, replacing the midfielder, like-for-like substitution. Well, easily cut out. Moruga trying to get forward, only as far as Williams. Can't have it from this distance. Here's Hague. And Miles Goodman looked comfortable in the end. Comey Hague certainly thought he had a good look. Here's a Tiba Charles, muscled out of possession. Williams, St. Rose, good hold-up play. Oh, and that's a good ball. Plays in his man, and well, good defending in the end. Cover from the centre-back.
Yeah, that was good work there by Carl Spencer. I think eventually he saw the danger, and more importantly, he was able to snuff it out. It's good, precise play there by Central FC. As the minutes tick on, they seem to be getting more and more comfortable in this fixture.
Williams, Costa's header, can't find Burke. Turner has two to deal with. Chooses the option of pace, and he's gone past one. Kept alive. Tiba Charles. Well, the substitute gets his first touch, and just see some slipping of the feet. Well, the best passage of play from Moruga comes to a halt as the Costa takes his man on a run. Here's Burke. Jariq Williams with space. Time. Can he deliver? Well cut out. It's King looking for options. Young. Turner using his space well. When he's gone past one, he's gone past Hague, and a shot, and well, jogged it wide in the end, but certainly the best look that they've had all evening. Kwame Hague, disappointed he went down that easy.
Yeah, Hague was stripped of the ball there. Rightful no call there by the referee. I thought Cavell Turner could have taken that one in a bit more and probably given himself a better angle and certainly a shorter distance on the goal. But he decided to take it early, eventually dragging it wide. But you're right, the first real moment for Moruga.
Well, that man, Rajan King Allen, hasn't been involved much in the match. When he gets involved, they can look a dangerous team, Moruga. Sylvester finds Turner. Ball could be in here, and well cut out in the end from Aberdeen. Traffic. Oh, but makes it look so simple, doesn't he? Ball cut out. Tiba Charles. His pass is cut out by Clausel. Williams picks up. Ball. He's just trading passes now, Andy. And a shot from distance, it's a prayer. That won't be answered anytime soon from the substitute Sylvester. Well, he certainly wants to make a mark, doesn't he?
Well, that's one way of making a mark. I think the real way would be getting it on target. So miles away from that. But I guess that's the way you announce yourself into a football game.
Well, I'm not sure Young knew exactly what happened there, but it was effective in the end. Ross Russell, the former Trinidad and Tobago international goalkeeper, head coach of Central FC. Yes, Clausel. Well, he's found himself in a good space here, and well, hasty defending in the end averted the danger, but they're knocking. How long can Rodney Young and company keep them out? Well intercepted. Thomas keeps it alive. It's Faria. Oh, that's good. He's carving some spaces, looking for the Costa. And again, the omnipresent Young is very much in position. Well, the rain is gone, if you're wondering. to leave the ground rather slippery. And maybe King is saying, maybe it's the ground that made me leave my feet. The referee had other ideas as he gives him a stern warning. Ah, beautiful. Plouville, that's what it's called, Love of the Rain. Miles Goodman would love to hold that, but he barely gets anything as cleared up eventually. Well, Turner, chance opening up here, could fall to King. And in the end, it's somehow missed the target. And it's a corner. Well, they've certainly opened up the chance, and it did come. Not taken.
Well, it's a good counter-attacking play. Once laid back there, thought he had just the goal to slot it into, but there were other ideas, well defended.
And, well, good hands in the end from the goalkeeper, Aberdeen. Couldn't get to its intended target, St. Rose.
It's not a good pass. Had two options out wide there, James, and I think for a player of Book's standards, he should have been doing better there. Certainly starting with a better decision, much less better execution. That's better. That's a lot better. Good skill.
I think I've gotten the word now, Brent. Pluviophile. A love of rain. Are you a pluviophile? Hope I pronounced that right.
I'm not sure if I want to answer that one. Words with files in it, I'm not sure.
Well, they can't say that they haven't gotten in good positions. Taking them is another matter of fact. Maybe in the opposite end, Central can. Well taken out though by Rodney Young.
Well, it's safe to say both teams have lived dangerously in the first 27 minutes or so. From a coach's perspective, both coaches probably pulling their hair out, but from a neutral perspective, it's been very entertaining.
Clausel in a good area, and a bit of hand spotted by the referee. And well, the action comes to anticlimactic end. Costa certainly found himself in a great position though. How important do you think Shem Clausel is to this team?
I think from both a defensive and offensive perspective, first defensively, he understands how to plug the gap, how to slide into positions, playing in that number 6 role. And from an attacking perspective, he's extremely good in switching the point of attack, and he protects the ball very well in the middle of the park, and he rarely gives the ball away. And that's really what you want from someone in the middle of your park. That looks like a foul.
Referee Williams has a different opinion as Miles Goodman gets a touch.
If you look at Shem and the positions he picks up on the field, it's a player that is thinking, it's a player that's always trying to take a step or two, well, a thought or two forward. And of course that gives him the advantage. He always plays like he has time on his hands. And that really is down to his position. And then you add on top of that, he has a very good touch. And because of that, he's easily one of the more recognizable figures for Central FC.
It's a corner, or goal kick rather. Well, let's go back to the first opinion, a corner. Clausel, of course, he's the son of Ian Clausel, the man famed with the nickname the Dread Dribbler. Son there, Shem, number 20. Talk about living up in your father's footsteps.
Some big shoes. Maybe you suggest boots.
Oh, here's Burke. Goodman gets a touch. Is it enough? Just away from the danger area, and the flag goes up. Would be Moruga's kick. So still goalless as we cross the half-hour mark in this first fixture of the Ascension Friday. Moruga FC against Central FC. Here's King. Young. Time and space. Looking for Turner. Aberdeen intercepts. Oh, it's good to see they can still be friendly, even after a naughty deed. Certainly was one of the top performers in the last match that they played against Deportivo. Goalkeeper Aberdeen. Some crucial saves. I think he might be one of our saves of the week as well.
Yeah, he did put in a solid performance for Central FC against Deportivo Point Fortin. He's had his moments in this tournament, Aberdeen, both good and bad. But I would suggest, James, there has been a lot of good of late.
Oh, that's Clausel. Dances away from the pressure. Clausel.
That's clever.
Gets it Rose going. Did he get past Young? Well, Bonks just seems to outfox him. Here's Clausel. Linking up well with St. Rose. Stein can't get around Young. Nothing given. Play continues. Thomas lost his footing, but he still manages to go. And finally, infringement cited by Quincy Williams. I think Darren Moore was appealing long before the whistle ever blew. Faria gets a foot in. Well, he tried to find the run of King. Wasn't the least bit interested, but St. Roses on the opposite end. This could be anybody's ball. Falls to Clausel. Here's Turner. Will he use the space here? Can use the space, and Aberdeen sticks the left boot out and just denies Kerbel Turner from perhaps putting Moruga ahead.
Turner putting on the Jets there. That's a quality save there by Aberdeen, sticking out the big left boot. So many times you would have seen goalkeepers go to ground quite quickly and making decision for the attacker. But in this instance, he said to Turner, "Beat me if you can, son." And he wasn't able to. That's a good save.
He'll have another chance to try and beat him from the corner. Aberdeen again gets his hand to it. Here's Da Costa, looking for his twin brother. And, well, the flag stays down. And, oh, Mars Goodman at the end gets the glove to it. So end-to-end stuff we've seen so far.
Well, I think there would be some tough brotherly conversations going back in the car. Should have finished there, James.
Romario Burke. Can he create another opportunity? He does create one and finds the back of the net. And it's that man, no surprise, Leonardo da Costa, as he gets Central FC 1-0 ahead against Moruga.
If you want to see a muted celebration, that's one. Good pass across field there by Burke. That's a good finish by St. Rose. Composure. And finished with plum. And you'd have to say that Central FC would feel that this goal was coming. They've certainly lacked the quality in their attacking third. But in that instance, that man there in your screen, showing the cool and calmness of a veteran. Good finish, tucked it in to the net.
Well, he certainly is one of the better finishers in the country. Keyshawn St. Rose showed exactly what he's worth. Give him half a chance, he takes the whole yard.
Well, he had a standout season, of course, with St. Augustine in the SSFL. And it's good to see him now taking that to the next level. Of course, as we see treatment being given there to Kyle Sylvester. Has been an entertaining fixture so far, James.
Most certainly has been. Though I'm sure the team in orange might suggest otherwise, but it certainly has been seesaw. Chances created on both ends. Well, how will Moruga recover? Had a chance on the opposite end, failed to take it. And well, that's what happens when you miss chances. Here's Turner. Maybe another chance could have fallen for him, but King sends it high into the night sky. Atiba Charles getting the shot in the end. Well, he's one of their better attackers, Atiba Charles. And just felt that maybe should have hit the target.
Yeah, Turner doing all the brunt of the work here, skipping and trying to get, finally it rolls into Charles' domain, and he blasted that one to probably Piarco Airport. He hit it very, very hard, certainly not on target. That's where you need the composure. That's where you have to be at your optimum best, placing it to the back of the net. If he wanted any guidance, he had his opposite striker, St. Rose, show him what composure is like. And that's what it needed, that touch.
Young. Well, for the most part, they've remained composed since conceding Moruga. Haven't been bad. This match held their own. Certainly showed that they're up for the fight.
Moruga have had their chances, and that's for sure. And I think the excellence of Aberdeen and the shyness of Charles and Turner is the reason why this game is 1-0 Central FC. That's been a very open affair so far, but Moruga certainly should be somewhere within the score sheet. I'm sure Coach Kwashi and the rest of the group may be scratching their heads thinking, how is it we're 1-0 down?
Oh, yeah. Inside the final 5 of the first half. Score leans 1-0 in favor of Central FC. Good time to say hello to everybody locked on via all of our platforms, seeing TV in Jamaica, via the Sportsmax app and the YouTube channels. Of course, later on CCN TV6, here's Da Costa. Easy for Miles Goodman. That's a good service. King can't control it though. It's going to waste.
Yeah, I think Da Costa would be very disappointed himself. That was a clear-cut opportunity to go 2-0 up. And he just did not pull the trigger. Well, he did pull the trigger. But it wasn't a good pull at all.
5 blanks.
5 blanks, that's for sure. Again, James, it just needed some composure. Just gather yourself and technique through the ball, but he didn't.
Oh, here's Leandro Da Costa finding his brother Leonardo. So, offside. Sylvester. Possession lost. Clausel.
That's good skill.
Burke. Dangerous area. And too long for the overlapping Williams. Still keeps it alive though. Just like the look of Williams though. Joy's getting forward, doesn't he? Well, despite the result, they have something to dance about. Moruga bench. It's Hague. Oh, it's the reason he's a centre back.
Not sure if I'm supposed to stick up for the centre backs there, but Hague doesn't give me much to protect or defend, I should say. Certainly was a poor cross. Just wondered why he hesitated. He had originally the opportunity to cross it, and then he took the more difficult route.
Oh, some naughty boy antics, some Keishon St. Rose. Can't get away with some of them when you score goals. Scored the lone goal of the match so far. Goal that has Central FC leading by 1-0. And Sylvester helped change that. Still anybody's ball here. And wow, who got the final touch? The attacker, it seems, as it's a goal kick. Nigel John certainly threw his frame in the mix.
I think Coach Russell would be happy with the 1-0 advantage, but I think he'd be very concerned with some of the sloppiness we've seen, especially from a defensive point of view from Central FC, when it's an errant clearance, hesitation in clearing the football, or just overall poor play. We've seen that creeping in, and that has created opportunities for Moruga. This is another one here.
Hague is fortunate. Clausel helps out. It's Faria. Puts out.
I think as a centre half, you've got to clear, you've got to go direct. If there's no options in front of you, you don't want to play a straight pass, certainly into the middle of the park. So if there's no options, you've got to clear lines. The last thing you want to do is dribble 20, 30 yards out of your own defense. Because I tell you what, James, if you make a mistake, there ain't no one back there to help you except for that man in between the 6, Aberdeen.
Well, regulation time has come to its expiration date. There'll be 2 minutes added. Yes, Region King, and well, found his defender. It's This one a corner. Maybe a chance to get something going into the half. Taken short, and well, Aberdeen had to help out as almost went out for a corner. It's Closel. Never seems flustered, is he? It's given away though.
Sloppy again, James.
This is good from Moruga, and well, that pass to Turner was well defended in the end by Hague.
Again, there was no need to play a straight ball into the middle of the park. And again, Central FC being the architects of their own demise, really. I just don't understand the thought process behind it. You've seen throughout this half, when you make those sorts of mistakes, it gives Moruga the impetus.
They're going to come knocking from the corner, perhaps the last bit of action for the first half. Finally satisfied. Looking for somebody in orange, and well headed away by Williams. Last chance maybe. And well, allowed to bounce dangerously, and the final whistle, or the final whistle of the half, says that Central FC will take the 1-0 advantage going in at the break. Smiles on the face of the team in yellow. Bit of disappointment for the team in orange as they trail at the half, but at halftime between Central FC and Moruga, it's Central FC 1, Moruga 0. We take a break.
The situation we have here is that these characters, and I refer to them as pests, right? What they are doing is destroying our country, but not on my watch. No street, no turf, no block shall belong to these cockroaches, right? It's no longer business as usual. Happy hour is over. If they don't fear God, at least they will fear Terminix.
Have you considered how your methods could impact on pests across the country?
I find we look after the rights of pests as opposed to the rights of the 1.3 million law-abiding citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. I wonder if Roach Ladden's son come here for carnival if you'll interview him, eh?
But how could you defend one shot, one kill?
What, you want me to throw a pillow at him?
I didn't say that.
No, well, if a roach jumps in front of you now, what will you do?
Run.
Oh, Jesus, Lord Father.
Pests bothering you? Call Terminix at 672-5007 or 672-0042 or visit our website at terminix.co.tt for a free quote and consultation. Join our fight against pests.
Lasso Frame Maritime Limited, the best in marina services. Our facilities, security checks ensures that all vehicles are secured. Our newly renovated bathrooms are always kept in a clean working order. Need repairs and maintenance? We have you covered. Our qualified workmen will get the job done.
Central FC 1-0 ahead of Moruga FC. Lots of good football action. Let's take a look back at some of them. And Quincy Williams sent us off to action at 5 p.m. Action we got. Central FC with first two chance. Keyshawn St. Rose knocking, just not hitting the target. Later on, Williams danced his way into position. And Hague, the centre back, got it on target. Can't get past Miles Goodman though. Moruga very much in the contest in the early stages. And that man certainly created chances, just not hitting the target that time. On the opposite end, Keyshawn Rose, St. Rose showed him exactly how it's done. Shem Clausel, the architect. And St. Rose, how about that for a finish? Moruga though, never out of it. Chances opened up. Tiba Charles getting one of them. Not to be as they trail by 1-0. Let's see what the numbers look like. And just as predicted, even Steven.
Yeah, even Stevens when it comes to the numbers, of course, 6 shots of Moruga FC, 5 for Central. 3 of Moruga's are 6 on target. 3 for Central FC is on target. 2 fouls apiece, no cards, both yellow and red. No offsides, 2 corners for Moruga FC, 6 for Central FC. 2 saves to the goalkeeper for Moruga FC's and 3 for Central. Of course, the most important stat is the 1-0 one, and Central FC may feel that they should have been further ahead.
Time to transition from the present. We will take a look back at the past week, but your thoughts on the first half though?
Yeah, I think a game where Moruga FC certainly created and carved out opportunities. Of course, a lot of them being architectured by Central FC sloppiness and mistakes. And of course, from a Central FC perspective, they have done well in terms of their build-up play, middle of the park. But again, for the second week running, their execution in the final third just have not been good enough.
All right, it's time to jump in our time machine and time capsule. Head back to last Friday and look at what took place. One of these teams did take part last Friday. And yep, you remember it well. Central FC, they took on Deportivo Point Fortin. And this was a match that proved more than what showed on the surface. And opening goal of the match came from Isaiah Hudson. Marcus Joseph making his Ascension debut, putting it on a platter for Hudson, and he made it 1-0. Central FC and Acosta threatened throughout the match. Clausel instrumental, both those 2 attempts. But Houghton Hector to Joseph, and Aberdeen. I told you about his saving ability. Well, there's evidence, more evidence. And just in case you wanted some more, well, Nathaniel Garcia will tell you about this save. Aberdeen, solid. So 1-0 at the half, and in the second, Da Costa came close, but Marvin Phillip had to beat until Joseph showed his Samba Mabamba, and in the end, Matthew Watson, the substitute, would benefit from it. Aberdeen couldn't hold on, and Watson making it 2-0. Deportivo taking the win. And in the later fixture, Terminix Rangers, they came up against Central Soccer World. Another Central team was in action. And early on, chances came. But then Terminix Rangers and Atula Guerra, they're always a clear and present danger. Some Joga Bonito and some good saving from Saint-Hilaire. On the opposite end though, the man they call the Trini Ronaldinho, Atula Guerra, was able to hit the bag, knock some of the fight away from Central Soccer World. And then Kadeem Corbin does what Kadeem Corbin does best. Find the net. And that knocked the stuffing out of Central Soccer World. 2-0 lead for Rangers. Guerra is always involved though. And that man in goal had to be good. Even when the reinforcements came and Central Soccer World huffed, Oh, they couldn't pass St. Helene goal. Edwards getting his first real starting position. Caused all sorts of trouble. And then they leave it until the last whistle. But Simon Joseph was able to get perhaps the goal of the match and the goal of the match week as well. 2-1, the final score. Atula Guerra, Campari man of the match. Well, the entertainment continues. We're going to enjoy the view while you will take a break.
The situation we have here is that these characters, and I refer to them as pests, right? What they are doing is destroying our country, but not on my watch. No street, no turf, no block shall belong to these cockroaches, right? It's no longer business as usual. Happy hour is over. If they don't fear God, at least they will fear Terminix.
Have you considered how your methods could impact on pests across the country?
I find we look after the rights of pests as opposed to the rights of the 1.3 million law-abiding citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. I wonder if Roach Ladden's son come here for the carnival, if you'll interview him, eh?
But how could you defend one shot, one kill?
What, you want me to throw a pillow at him?
I didn't say that.
No, well, if a roach jumps in front of you now, what will you do?
Run.
Oh, Jesus, Lord Father.
Pests bothering you? Call Terminix at 672-5007 or 672-0042 or visit our website at terminix.co.tt for a free quote and consultation. Join our fight against pests.
Amante Del Cafe is located at Magnificent Mall, number 271 Southern Main Road, McBean, Couva. Amante Del Cafe. Happiness begins with...
Well, good evening to the folks locked on in Kingston, Jamaica, Christchurch, Barbados, and all across the Caribbean. Welcome to La Joqueta, Trinidad and Tobago. It is the Ascension football tournament. Moruga FC trailing by 1-0 against Central FC. And, well, changes as the card is already being shuffled for Moruga. James Saunders is my name. I'm joined by former Trinidad and Tobago defender Brent Sancho. Second half, what can we expect?
I think more of the same if tactically both teams decide to deploy their charges in a similar vein. Certainly from a Central FC perspective, they would like to be a lot more clinical in the attacking third. And I think for Moruga, I think positionally and of course as it relates to influence in the game, they can't just wait on Central FC to make mistakes. They're going to have to take it to their opponents, and again, they probably don't need to when they get gifts like that.
Well, Akil Phillip is the new addition to the cast for Moruga FC. As Keyshawn St. Rose, the goal scorer, gets in a great position and it's deflected off the back of Rodney Young, and he will get a corner early on. Looks in target though. Don't forget, in the later fixture, the home team, Terminex La Hocata Rangers, they will be coming up against Real Westfort. Terminex Rangers, the only unbeaten team in the competition. Central FC would be chasing their second win of the competition in this match, and
that's a good
maybe
ball.
Here,
yeah,
maybe now, and it's into the back of the net for Central FC, and it's easy does it for Jarick Williams. Won't find an easier goal than that one, and Central FC lead by 2-0. Well,
it was really all about the surface. The service from the corner created havoc for Moruga. They were all cemented into positions. So a good ball. Eventually it falls to that man there in the screen. Good ball into the box. A lot of dip and wind. No one in the orange shirt really taking command of the situation. But of course, Jarick Williams decided this is his calling and pins it into the back of the net. The easiest of chances. He'll be very happy of the ease of that opportunity. Looks like Sunday afternoon football, James. Well, the type of chance that fell to Williams. Certainly not the finish. He did the business.
Well, there goes the coach's team talk. Oh, more chances are opening up, and it's Da Costa. Charges forward now. Gets the goal scorer Williams involved.
Tails are up now, Central FC.
Well, they've lost in that battle. Moruga now find themselves trailing by 2 goals. Certainly were live for most of the first half. Created chances of their own. It's a big ask for them now.
I think the next goal is critical, and I'm saying that because I do believe there's still more goals in this game. And from a Moruga perspective, it has to be them. If they want to claw themselves back in, I think the momentum will swing, and they may be able to put Central under some pressure. But I think if they allow another goal, the floodgates just may open.
Maybe here they can open up something. And, well, Aberdeen ensures that that is not to be. Not on his watch anyway. Well, ease of movement from Central. Well, cut out in the end by Rodney Young. Well, it's stretching the Moruga team. That one is cut out in the end.
There's about 5 yellow shirts in there, James. I think there seemed to be a gold bonus somewhere around the Central SV camp, because they're flooding in numbers, throwing themselves into it. And that man there in goal must be thinking, who opened the floodgates? Because Central FC is pouring forward.
Williams will stand over this throw. AQ. Clausel. Pulling the strings, Clausel. This time for St. Rose, and this time for Da Costa.
That's outstanding defending, James. That is top defending.
Well, they will have another opportunity here. Huffing, puffing, who's going to blow the door down? Oh, Clausel tried to wave his wand, not this time, and Burke tries, and easy for Goodman in the end. I'll tell you what, like father, like son. Shem Clausel showing some magic tricks. Almost made the defender disappear.
Let's look at this for a bit of cleverness. A reverse pass here by Clausel, the outside of the foot. What a good pass, set it up there. But look at this for defense. He, of course, saw the danger and snuffed it out.
Intercepted by Da Costa.
You have to wonder, James, how important that stop was in the grand scheme of things. Because Central FC certainly got their tails up, and you suspect, as I said, a third goal might be lights out for Moruga.
Looking for Da Costa. Tussle for this one. King helping out with the defending. And, well, it's running out of room in the end. St. Rose looking for his range. And
it's a poor pass by St. Rose, really, James. It was just a simple through ball to be played, and just muffed his lines, really. Should have done better.
Might have another chance here. It's a throw for Moruga.
I think that's the frustrating part for Coach Russ Russell and Coach Kwashi when you talk about young players and their inconsistency, because St. Rose has scored a very good opportunity, showed a high level of composure, and then in a situation like that where you would expect him to make the right pass and the right choice, and it doesn't come out. And I think from a coach perspective, it's difficult, because as much as you may be barking those instructions into the young ears, sometimes it doesn't register.
Well, they're looking for ideas, and well, ran out of ideas as that pass was given away sloppy. Costa tries his luck, and Goodman, oh, to be fair, he did get across well. Not sure he knew exactly where it nestled as it zoomed past him. Oh, the Costa is apologizing, but I'm not sure Miles Goodman would feel the same way, though. He was alarmed.
I wondered if he was too far out to even consider this. But when you are part of the Costa clan, and you're in the type of form that those two young men have been in, why not? I think Goodman may have thought that he would not have gotten there.
Well, here's King. Called it out. And opportunity gone. But could fall for King yet again. Sylvester. No room in the inn. Oh, well cut out in the end by Romario Berg. Counter-attack could be on now to Da Costa. Forced to head back in his goal's direction. Clausel. Well, he tried to part the Orange Sea. Found out he wasn't Moses.
I think young Williams is looking at Shem and asking him, where do you think I'm going to get that pace from? Didn't have it before the start of the game, certainly not going to have it during the game. It's a good pass, but the weight of the pass wasn't there. Good idea, I should say. Certainly the weight of the pass wasn't there. But they've looked comfortable, James, Central FC coming into the second half. We did wonder what sorts of changes both teams would have made. I think the one change, not tactical by Central FC, that they've made is the application to this one. It's not as jittery, a lot more comfortable in their approach, although they do have these moments like that one.
They seem a lot more short going forward as well, Central.
I think sometimes goals does that as well. I think the second goal really settled the nerves in the camp.
Well, let's turn out with the turn on. Put King in, and well, his feet too short as Aberdeen got there first. Best chance created by the team from deep south. Williams, St. Rose, and oh, that's not very far away.
I think it was the more difficult option of the two. It was an option of a wide pass out to St. Rose. Sorry, out to the Costa. But he decided to go it alone. And why not? He's already scored for the afternoon. And certainly Goodman looked like a deer in headlights.
Can Moruga muster a response? Oh, not this time. It's Clausel. Just glides across the surface, doesn't he? Faria. And will be a throw to Acosta. Mario Burke. Oh, it's fouled by Sylvester. And we whistle, deleted, announcing that he did find himself in an offside position. Clausel. Wonder what team they're playing for.
Maybe Monday Wear team. Monday Wear FC.
You can tell they're the star players. Well, here we go. Sid Rose in a tussle with Sylvester. And, well, he thinks that some sort of disciplinary action should be had against the midfielder. He's clutching onto that right wrist of his. David versus Goliath. This is one story, one multiverse that David was not the victor. Here he is. He's back on his feet though, although his face does paint a picture of anguish. He's showing St. Rose.
It looks like, as we see with Julius and Ross having a conversation, but it looks like some sort of separation maybe of the shoulder. Very painful injury. It looks extremely uncomfortable.
Certainly would be a pity to lose him at this stage of the match. He did score the game's opening goal. No signs that he might be replaced, as Moruga have decided to do some replacing on their end. So as we approach the hour mark, Region King will be replaced by the man wearing the most famous football number in Trinidad and Tobago, the number 19. And well, he has the name of perhaps the most famous striker ever, Ronaldo. So Ronaldo Edwards comes in wearing the Dwight York number.
Sounds like an ingredient for a very good cake. All the good ingredients there. Just need to execute on the field, James.
Well, let's see if we can get a goodie from him then.
No pressure. Ronaldo meets York.
Well, has been a change as well. Another one, and Tiba Charles has been replaced, so 2 attackers for Moruga. And according to my team sheet, the man who just came in should be the goalkeeper.
Well, it helps in a situation when you can multitask.
Shane King has also come in. As
Tell you what a thunderbolt.
Yeah, certainly. Woke everybody up.
I sat here and I wondered what he was up to. And he absolutely walloped that one. It's a poor cross.
So we've navigated past the hour mark. So there you go, confirmation of the shuffling of the deck by Moruga. Shane King replacing Nigel John. And well, Tiba Charles has gone out. Confirm who came in. What can the new charges do for Moruga? Sylvester looking for space, and well, it's too long in the end. They've called in reinforcements. Can they get changed fortunes? Burke tried to find Closel, not in a good area. Moruga pushed through, and it's a substitute. And while Aberdeen had to get low, but he got there in the end. Ronaldo Edwards, well, certainly giving us a treat, Brent Sancho. What a cake!
What a cake. And of course a good slice of a shot. But again, it comes down to the sloppiness of Central FC. Burke giving the ball away. And Ronaldo at the end of that one had Aberdeen scrambling in goal there. Did just enough to keep it out.
Well, a change has been made by Central FC. Jalil Babor is the new man in. And well,
That's a free header.
Almost saw goal conceded. Found himself all alone.
I think maybe he had too much time. And of course, eventually he put it wide.
Well, St. Rose will be replaced. Seems he hasn't sufficiently recovered from the injury, as another man wearing the number 19 has come in. Want to guess what his name, Brent? It's also Ronaldo. Ronaldo Francois. Yeah, Sylvester. You can't get it. A dangerous area now, and they touch too heavy in the end. Try again. Lost in a bad area. Burke could come away with it. Costa goes down. Nothing given as Moruga break on the opposite end.
And I guess he can play defense as well. Closer. That's a good tackle.
Well cut out. Here's the Central FC substitute. Heavy touch. Looked like a handball, and Quincy Williams agrees.
I think with the changes for both teams, more so Central FC, they seem to have lost their way a bit, certainly from a organizational perspective. Seem to be a lot of indecision as to who needs to be where. And Moruga's changes have come in and given some energy to a ship that seemed to be stuttering. Not sure it's quite smooth sailing yet, but they're carving out their chances.
Well, they need to find opportunities from somewhere. Moruga, at the moment, they remain at the bottom of the standings. Just 1 point in their 12 prior matches. Point coming in their last game against Central FC.
Well, I think, James, they just haven't been cohesive enough. They've shown individual brilliance in spurts, but collectively as a team, we have not seen any of that team chemistry and capability. That's very, very late there. You'd be surprised if he doesn't go into the book. But certainly, James, Moruga, from a Moruga perspective, as a team, it just hasn't been fluid at all.
Yes, Burbaugh, the substitute. Clausel. Ronaldo Edwards, the other substitute. Edwards.
Unlucky.
Moruga tried to break in numbers, well cut out by Clausel. Williams. Burbaugh. 1v1. This is good. They're opening up spaces here. Chance opening up for Francois and Miles Goodman. Wow. Made it look more difficult than it really was in the end. But he's relieved to have held on. Well, Williams have lost that in a dangerous area and almost found its way to the other Ronaldo on the field, Ronaldo Edwards. And it's a foul, an opportunity for Moruga to pelt bodies forward. Well, here's a fun fact. Both Ronaldos are wearing the number 19 for either team. Ronaldo Edwards for Moruga, Ronaldo Francois for Central FC.
Popular name for childbirth back then, maybe.
Ronaldo Nazario, of course, the Brazilian legend. Certainly would have, many people might have conceived during his time. Winning the World Cup of Brazil in 1998, of course.
Is that, of course, a sign of how many Brazilian fans we have here in Trinidad? From conceived to birth name.
Surprised I wasn't named Ronaldo. Wonder what player was named James. Somewhere in the 80s.
Maybe James Bond.
That's it. I'm taking that. Central charging forward to the Costa. Oh, he's opened up some space.
It's got to be better.
Couldn't find Burke in the end.
Just had to cut it back, really. And went for power. No direction. And certainly no ambition with the pass. He gets himself in some really good position, James. And I think if I had one complaint is his execution when he gets there. Just has to be better.
Oh, Williams does win another throw. Certainly has the raw material, Miguel Williams.
Well, he has the appetite. He gets up and down the park. He's a positive player. He's always on the go. But at the top level, you have to execute. That's better.
Well, he has some time and space. And he tries with his right. And, oh, Miles Goodman. Well, he's happy that it went everywhere but inside the goal. On the other hand, that man, Russ Russell, not so much. They'll have to be alert yet again, Moruga. Central FC look to launch another bomb inside the area. Siobhan Thomas trying to signal a yellow shirt. And he's found one. And he's found perhaps one of their more consistent players. And it's Da Costa who gets the third item for Central FC. And I don't think it's written on the wall anymore. It's printed in bold letters.
But again, it's about the delivery, isn't it, really? Another class delivery. Into the box. That man, Thomas, delivering, and Da Costa stamping it into the back of the net. Goodman at 6s at 7 there, misses his punch. But I think his discussion would be with the men in orange. Where were they? He had 3 yellow shirts lining up to do the simplest of tasks and put it into the back of the net. Another very easy textbook finish for Central FC. Turning out to be an enjoyable night for the men in yellow.
It will be their first win in 4 matches, Central FC. Won a 3-game losing run prior to this. One thing though, never short of goals, Central.
And they did start to show improvement from a defensive standpoint, from an organizational standpoint, and from a consistency standpoint. And those were some of the points that Coach Russ Russell mentioned throughout his interviews, both today and last week. And yeah, you have to give credit where credit is due, because from a consistency standpoint, they're getting better. They're a very young team, but they've been better for longer periods. And that's why today they've 3 goals to the good.
Now, despite their poor run of recent form, Central FC, as you rightly mentioned, did score 9 goals in their last 3 matches. And to think they were scoreless in their last game against Deportivo paints a picture that they can score goals.
Must be mentioned in that Deportivo game, they did create chances. They just weren't clinical. So creating chances is not the issue. I think stopping them at the other end. And right now, they've done that so far. Hopefully haven't
conjure up the commentator's curse.
Sylvester. Led away by Closel. Burke. Acosta. Too long in the end. For Sylvester. Acosta will get it away. Here's Burke. Ronaldo Francois, the substitute. And, well, he knows exactly how bad that pass was. Sylvester trying to tread the needle. Williams. To Williams. And, well, Williams stays down. There's two Williams on the field for Central FC. Miguel Williams, who is in a spot of bother. And Jarick Williams. One of three Williams in the squad. Angelo Williams being the other one. He's on the bench today.
You can get a run and a runner. If not, pass and one, right? Like you see the pass, and simple.
Well, for a winning team, Aces wouldn't quite say winning. Tyrone from the Terminex La Hogata Rangers. It's not going to be in the lineup today. So just Sean Williams will use the opportunity to come in. As Ross Russell looks to freshen up the legs of his Central FC team. And he will replace Jarick Williams, who was just down. Deshaun Brown is the other player set to come in, and he has replaced the goal scorer, Leonardo da Costa. So all of the starting attackers for Central FC have been replaced as a substitute. Instantly gets involved. Can he make an immediate impact? Well, not this time, but he does win a corner.
It'll be a bit too soon for him. His first touch is a ball in on goal. I don't think many footballers can say that.
Well, that's the thing you dream of the night before. Hardly ever materializes, though. Dave Kwamina. Ollie, scratching his head, but I don't think he has worries in terms of his team's position in the standings. Maybe team selection. That might be another scratch head issue. Well, maybe Ross Russell should scratch his head now. Everyone bemused by that service from the corner. Well, here's Romario Burke at Central. Get it back. Burke. And, well, gravity wasn't his friend. This went up and over. So Jarick Williams has come out to Sean Thomas, replaced him, and goal scorer Leonardo da Costa has been replaced by Deshaun Brown. Well, that's a good turn, and fouled in the process, Romario Burke. Here's Thomas. This is Sylvester. Sylvester gets the final touch to throw. Oh, they're picking away at the Moruga defense, and it's in. Wow, he went acrobatic. And in the end, the simple shot is held by Goodman. Well, here's Ronaldo, deflected, gets a corner. Well, 3-0 Central FC over Moruga. Wonder who Brent Sancho has in his mind as a potential man of the match. Is that a sign? Well, usually wrong this time. You see lots of that. Some sodium deficiency, achy cramp. Well, it's a good time to see what is our Sports Max app moment. And it comes from the goal scorer, Keyshawn St. Rose. And well, the surgeon's precision to find the back of the net. And that was the opening goal and our Sports Max app moment. Testing time as play resumes. Ronaldo Edwards swings it in, and wow, somebody got a touch and it's kept out, but the flag also went up.
I think he did more than keeping it out there. He was, well, more than being in an offside position. I think he kept it out because it looked very much goal bound.
Deshaun Thomas. Here's Ronaldo Edwards. Finding space, can he pick out a teammate? Well, they're getting warm and on target, and well, Aberdeen looks as comfortable as a beachgoer in Maracas. Clausel, well, he's sliced them open. Goodman is quick. Rodney Young. Heavy challenge. And it's a free kick. And it's a goal. Wow. As anticlimactic as ever. They're not going to care. They got something to celebrate as Moruga cut the deficit to 3-1.
Just when you thought they were dead and buried, a goal comes out of absolute nothing. Maybe a case of too little, too late. But nevertheless, Moruga would be happy with that.
Curvell Turner, of course, was the goal scorer for Moruga. Maybe they're in search of more here. With some space and, well, not the execution that he would have hoped for. Well, they have gotten a rush of blood since the last goal. Maybe more they have in mind. That man was the goal scorer, Curvell Turner. Inside the final 4 minutes of the match. Shem Clausel. Williams. Angelo Williams. And wow, found himself in a great position. Couldn't control it. Is there one more goal in Moruga? They've got the deficit to 3-1 and maybe here. Oh, that's good dancing feet. And they don't get the foul, but they get a corner. Well, maybe here they can open up something. Comes off the upper shoulder for Mihegu. Although the Moruga players were thinking it might have come off something else. And Aberdeen, how good has he been? Here's Romario Burke though. Put the final nail in the coffin for Central FC. Here's Williams. And, well, that's as anticlimactic as they come. Miles Goodman with the easy gobble up. Burke. Oh, sent his man to dance classes. Curvell Turner in search of maybe a second for Moruga. Ronaldo Edwards. Oh, it's clever to get out of the way of that one. Spunk about Moruga. Well, the final passes haven't quite connected. Final minutes of the 90. Clausel.
I think it's safe to say, James, that today's man of the match is a young man in the goal for Central FC.
Aberdeen.
I think when you look at that save, that foot save that he made, it really was the platform for today's victory for Central FC. Or certainly for the positive performance that they've had.
Is there one last attempt for Moruga? Well, guess that's been answered. Sean Brong taking no chances. So 3 minutes will be the time allotted for stoppages. Enough time maybe for Turner, but Aberdeen has been really solid today. Angelo Williams. Oh, it's a good ball. Well, opposite can't be said about the touch. And a challenge gives away a corner. Rodney Young getting his toward the end of that. Headed away by Sylvester. Ronaldo Edwards. Oh, just some tired legs from the Moruga players. Fatigue perhaps setting in. Sylvester and Aberdeen. Wow. Changed his name to Clark Kent. He's a Superman. Oh, they do get a corner.
That's a good flighted ball in there. Turner and Aberdeen showing every reason why he's been a judge man of the match. I think he's made critical saves at crucial moments. And when you do that as a goalkeeper, you give your team a chance. And despite Central FC shyness in front of goal in the first sparring period of this fixture, Aberdeen was there and could be counted on.
Well, they're in search of more Central. Maybe the last bit of action of the match. God, what a challenge. Can Sylvester give his home community something to smile about in the dying moments? It's well headed away by Angelo Williams. And the game has been well put away by Central FC. They came, they fought, and they conquered in the end, the team from Central Trinidad. Lying just one position above bottom place Moruga coming into this fixture. And they've managed to hold on to their slight superiority as they've stretched the lead above them to 8 points. And at the end of the 90 minutes of football being played here at the Lockett Recreation Ground, it's Central FC 1, Moruga FC 1. Time to take a look back at some of the first half highlights. Quincy Williams getting us off. And early in the contest, it was Keyshawn St. Rose who threatened. Just couldn't find the mark. And Williams on one of his weaving runs, and the centre-back, Hague, getting the first shot on target. Moruga were not out of the contest. Kerbel Turner certainly created lots of danger, although he didn't have the accuracy needed. Until Keyshawn St. Rose, well, he pulled out his surgeon measurement, found the back of the net, and that put Central 1-0 ahead. Was a lead they would hold on to. But Moruga tried to disrupt, and when Hague fumbled, Tiba Charles had a look. too high. Was there to be more of the same in the second half? Certainly was. Early in the second half. And it was Williams getting on the score sheet, perhaps the easiest goal that he'll ever score. And that puts Central 2-0 ahead. Jerick Williams. And Closel. Masterful, creating chances. And Costa's shot, the last-ditch block. Costa tried from distance himself. Miles Goodman had it covered though. And then Kerbal Turner tried to get Rajan King going unsuccessfully. And then Da Costa, sure to hear his name on the score sheet whenever there's goals around, and certainly closed off the contest, getting Central FC's third. But Moruga would clinch a last gasp one, catching Central sleeping, and Kerbal Turner wronging the goalkeeper Aberdeen. Sylvester tried to do it a second time, but it was not to be, as Aberdeen was up to the task, as Central FC held on for a 3-1 win. Time to take a look at some of the match statistics, see how exactly they lined up. And in the shots department, just 3 shots more for Central FC. Shots on target, close in the end, 9 compared to 7. Quality of Central FC shining through, because 6 saves each. And, well, quite rightly so, the goalkeepers might have been the difference maker in the match. And that's why Brent Sancho is standing by with our man of the match, goalkeeper, Keston Aberdeen.
Well, Keston, of course, man of the match honors for you here tonight. A couple crucial saves. Talk us through the big save with your left foot.
Firstly, I must say thank God for the victory. The guys fought really hard. It's all about positioning, it's about reading the game. As a goalkeeper, it's all about covering the back line. I'm there to cover the guys and them. So any mistake, any shot, I'm there to cover. I always learn in training, you have many tools as a goalkeeper. You have your hands, you have your foot, you have your head, you have your whole body. So I decided to use my foot, my left leg, and made the save.
Well, of course, that critical save was the platform for the 3 points. Important victory for Central FC?
Very important. Here's where we build. I'm a very optimistic person. I don't like to dwell on the negative. So I love this team. It's a bunch of good youths. Excellent coach. We have an excellent coach. Excellent staff. From here, we just keep building and we keep moving forward.
Well, of course, Aberdeen, you are the man of the match. Congratulations, and of course, all the best for the rest of the season.
Thanks very much, sir. I appreciate it.
Of course, goalkeeper Aberdeen, the man of the match for today's fixture, and a very happy individual, and of course, smiling all the way through it. And as he said, he's used every part of the body. Now I'm, of course, joined by the coach of Moruga FC. Of course, Coach Kwashi. Disappointing result. What did it go wrong for Moruga FC?
We didn't take with chances. I can't see a team having 8 clear-cut chances and only scoring 1. So we was beating me ourselves.
Well, we talked about the positive result last weekend, positive performance. As you rightfully said, there's some of the chances being missed in this opportunity. As you look forward to the next game, what do you take into that fixture?
Taking, well, you can see chances were there. It's just we gotta work on finishing as we going forward. Sooner or later we'll get it, but it's a tough luck.
Yeah, tough luck to you, yeah. Coach Kwashi, and of course, all the best to you and your charges as you go through the rest of the season.
Yeah, man, thanks.
Of course, Coach Kwashi there, a disappointed man, lamenting on the fact of the chances that his team would have missed today, and suggesting that would have been the difference. Nevertheless, I'm joined by the winning coach, Coach Russ Russell. Coach, a smile on your face. 3 points to the good.
Yeah, finally I got 3 points after about 6 game losing. But that is how it takes in football. You have to keep working. I think, I work really hard during this week to make sure that we get the 3 points.
Well, we talk a lot about the youth that's in your team. Of course, that brings about a bit of inconsistency. Happy with the consistency in this fixture?
Not really. I think we didn't play to our full potential. I think it seems like the stronger teams we play better, but we lost. But I will take this win tonight.
Well, of course, again, Ross, congratulations on your 3 points and all the best to you and your team for the rest of the season.
Thank you, Brent.
Well, it was some 90s singer that sang, if at first you don't succeed, you pick yourself up and try again. And that's exactly what Ross Russell and Central FC did as they take a 3-1 win over Moruga FC, picking up their first points of round 2, their second win of the competition, and certainly one that they will relish for a long time. Well, we take a break, and when we come back, we've got our second match as Terminix La Hocketa Rangers get set to take on Real Westford. Don't go anywhere. Keep it right here.